Yo, what is going on, everybody? Shri Kanase here. So the conversion rate optimization strategy for Google Shopping ads. Now this video will actually contain a lot of golden nuggets when it comes to doing conversion rate optimization for stores that run specifically Google Shopping ads, because in reality, what I've noticed from spending over 6 figures advertising online, Facebook ads is a much different platform compared to Google ads, and that applies too when it comes to conversion rates. I mean, just from my own experience, I can definitely say that there's a huge difference in buying mentality for those people that come from Facebook compared to those that come from Google. So this video is one you're going to want to watch until the end. Now, just understanding how to run Google ads is just part of the battle. The rest of the battle comes from actually getting those Google Shopping ads to be profitable. I have tons of free tutorials on my channel that'll help you get the campaign running and going, and this video will help you get the conversion rate up so you can actually become fully profitable and make a killing. But without wasting any more time, let's just jump right into it. So the conversion rate optimization strategy for Google Shopping ads. Now, in order for this strategy to actually work for you, there's one thing you may want to do, and that is smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Now, but I would absolutely appreciate it if you do that for the YouTube algorithm. But assuming you have done it, the real first thing that I actually want to talk about is the difference between the Facebook rate, conversion rate, and Google conversion rates. So in the beginning of this video, I said something along the lines of Facebook ad buying strategy is much different from Google ads buying strategy. Now, in order to actually understand the optimization techniques I'll be mentioning later on in the video, you have to understand what the difference is between the two. I'm comparing the two because a majority of people use Facebook ads, but when it comes to Facebook conversion rate versus Google ads conversion rate, Facebook ads is on one end while Google ads is on the complete other end. But why is that exactly? Well, when it comes to Google Shopping ads, you have to understand that it is a search-based platform. Meaning, even though we're not running those search ads on Google, what we're doing is basically running a Google Shopping ad, which will be shown only when somebody searches for one of your products. And when somebody searches for one of your products, what happens is at the top, there are a lot of more other competitors who may be selling the same exact product like you or in the same niche with the same functions. So what happens is, in this case, these shoppers have a chance to kind of think about their purchase. They have a chance to research about their purchase, and this is why there's such a big difference between the conversion rates. When it comes to Google Shopping ads, I've understood one thing, and that is it's much easier to research between different competitors, prices, etc. with Google Shopping ads, because with Facebook, it's much more of an instinct-based purchase. You're scrolling through your Facebook feed one day, you see this cool microphone that you've always wanted, and you see it on Facebook, and that's the only ad you see for a microphone. You don't see anything else. So what do? You click on the Shop Now button and you go and actually purchase it, because you don't really have another way of finding out what the same microphone is sold for in another website, and you don't really want to waste your time researching because you just assume that that is the best price. That's the mentality with Facebook ads. With Google, if I type in the keyword microphone, I'm going to see tons and tons of microphones at the top as Google Shopping ads. From those Google Shopping ads, I may see one microphone which isn't the design that I want. I see another one which is the design that I want, but it's not the right price. So I click the next button and I scroll through until I find the right design with the right price. And because of this search-based platform with Google Shopping ads, what I've noticed is that lower plus higher ticket items work really well, and that depends on whether you did proper SEO optimization, proper pricing, and all this other stuff. If you're unsure as to how to do that, do watch my free videos on YouTube or contact me on Instagram at DedicatedYoung for one-on-one Google Ads mentoring. But lower and higher ticket items work really well with Google. On the other hand, let's look at Facebook. So when it comes to Facebook, again, as I mentioned, it's instinct-based. People are just scrolling through, they see something, they get these emotions that they want that product, they can't live without it, and boom, they have purchased it. People don't really want to waste their time researching the correct prices, at least majority of them. There are some few people who will research and may not buy from the ad that they see. But that's the difference between Facebook. Simply because it's much harder to research between the different competitors, prices, etc. There's a lot of manual work involved, unlike with Google. And this leads to a lot more success with lower and mid-ticket items on Facebook compared to Google, where you can sell higher ticket items with the same effort. That's the main difference between both. And with Google Ads, what I've personally noticed is the conversion rate is actually much lower because it's a search-based platform compared to Facebook, where it's more instinct-based. You're going to have a much higher conversion rate. On my main niche store, which runs mostly on Facebook ads, I've always had a consistent conversion rate of 3% or more. In the good season time, it would often be 5%, 6%. But with Google, it's a completely different story where the conversion rate actually hovers around a 1%, which may sound actually bad, but in the end, I'm still profitable. So that's what matters. But now let's actually talk about how you can actually optimize the conversion rates for Google Shopping ads so you can get that 1% to a 3%, a 5%, because yes, it is possible. The first thing I want to talk about is the descriptions, because with Google Shopping ads, the descriptions play a huge role. One thing I've learned from personal experience is that including the main features of the product towards the top end of the description has a much higher impact on the conversion rate and actually helps increase it. In addition, the description needs to be much more detailed and emotional compared to how you would make it with Facebook, because again, with Google, it's much more search based. And the reason why you need the main features towards the top end is because people hate reading. They don't want to read long paragraphs, and with Google Shopping ads, I often recommend that the description be long, 200 to 300 words. So in order to kind of avoid having the customer read through the entire thing, we want to make their life easier and give them the important information at the top. And one of the main reasons is because let's go back to the microphone example. If I'm looking for a specific microphone, I only want the best microphone. So what I would do is I would just quickly skim through the description for one shopping ad that I click on and see what features the product has. Maybe this microphone has automatic voice detection where the levels of the voice go up and down automatically, and it's a smart microphone. I want these main features at the top so that I can read it and be sure right away that this is the microphone that I want. Because then my next move would be to look at another shopping ad which has that same exact microphone, maybe for the same price, maybe lower, but then I would read the description over there to make sure that the product has all of the features that I want. So in this case, if the images are the same, if the product is the same, and the title is the same, the description that is more compelling, more emotional, the one that has more features at the top and really describes the product well is the one that's going to get my money, not the one which has barely any words, barely any emotion, and has the important information all at the end. And that's exactly how Google Shopping ads work. After starting to put my main features at the very top, towards the top of the description, I've noticed a significant increase in the conversion rates, and this is definitely something you want to do as well, especially if you run Google Shopping ads. In addition, again, make sure your description is detailed as possible and emotional, but don't exceed the 300 word limit, because at that point it gets kind of too much jumbled up text and it could actually decrease your conversion rates, because again, people hate looking at big blocks of text. In addition to the descriptions, there's one app you want to download for your Google Shopping ad store, and that is the Sales Pop app, meaning that specific app where it brings up a pop-up notification which says somebody purchased this X item 24 hours ago. You may be thinking, wow, that's so unprofessional to have. And yes, you're right, that is unprofessional. But what I've noticed is that there's a big difference between professionalism as well when it comes to running a store with Facebook ads compared to Google ads. With Facebook, something like this would absolutely not work, and I would recommend that you don't have this on your store if you run Facebook ads mostly. On the other hand, I noticed a significant increase in my conversion rates when I installed the app that had these pop-up notifications. Why? One reason could be because when somebody just comes onto your website and they're quickly looking at the images, description, they're really not that sure about your website. Is this a random website which they saw on a Google search? And it's unlike Facebook where they can go to your website and look at the amount of likes the page has to determine its trustworthiness. With Google, they absolutely have no idea what your website is, if it's trustworthy, if it has any likes on social media, or if it even has any social media accounts. So in this case, what I noticed is when you have these pop-up notifications, and people are reading through the description, looking at the photos, and they see these, it kind of builds this trust instinct inside them that makes them want to trust your website more. And even if this pop-up comes up for a split second, within that split second, their mind is kind of diverted. They go from thinking, wow, this website is something I may not trust, to, okay, somebody just purchased items and, oh, the pop-up came up again, so people are purchasing items. So that makes them want to trust your website much more. So when it comes to stores run on Google Shopping ads, get the sales pop up and try it for yourself. In my own experience, I've definitely noticed that this has increased my conversion rates. But that brings me to my next one, which is having a sticky add to cart button. This is something I would have not paid much attention to had I run this general store on Facebook ads only, but with Google Shopping ads, and again, as I mentioned earlier, it's a search-based platform, meaning people have to scroll kind of all the way towards the end of the description to get a whole idea of what the product is, especially if you didn't put the main features at the top of the description. So when people are scrolling all the way to the bottom, they get to the bottom and they can't see the add to cart button. You may kind of laugh at this, but this is the reality where people are just too lazy to scroll all the way back up, and what they do instead, they just exit out of the product page and go to some other page to purchase. And this happens all the time, something I've noticed happening often in a lot of my stores as well. So one great way to kind of battle this is to have the sticky add to cart button, which when they scroll all the way down, they can simply click on the add to cart button and have the product added to cart and then go to the checkout instead. This saves them a lot of work of scrolling. And again, you may laugh at this, but the less you make the person work, the better it is for your store and the higher the conversion rate. So this specific sticky add to cart button will make them work less and increase your conversion rates in the end. And you can achieve a sticky add to cart button by just downloading one of those apps. There are a lot of apps out there which offer this. So definitely get this for your store, especially if you run with Google Shopping ads. But along with having a sticky add to cart button, there's one more thing which is related to customer support that you need to have on your store if you run Google Shopping ads, and that is a chat messenger button. Again, I keep on going back to the main point, which is Google is a search-based platform. To increase your conversion rates, definitely get a chat messenger button, because there may be some questions these people have while searching for a specific product that they want, which they can ask directly via the chat messenger button. And when they ask you this, you can reply back to them and you may actually convince them to buy from you. Note that you don't have to be available 24/7 to have a chat messenger button. This button will simply have them leave the message with you, and then when you come online, you can look at it and reply directly to their email. I've noticed a lot of my customers come back to actually purchase the item simply because I answered their question. And trust me, people that are shopping with Google Shopping ads definitely have questions. They're looking through these different deals, through these different products, and it's just kind of confusing. So having this button, having somebody to chat with, really makes a big difference and makes them want to change their mind and buy with you. And that brings me to my next point, which is having special brand names for a product. So now what do I mean by this exactly? Well, I want to take you guys to one special website, which is bestsellers.com. And this is bestsellers.com here. I've mentioned this website quite often in a lot of my Google Shopping tutorials. But as you can see, every single product on Bestsellers has a special brand name. Like over here, this specific portable air conditioner is called Easy Chill. This specific smartwatch is called Quinitor. Now, I highly believe that Bestsellers kind of overdoes this, where they have every single product with a special name and a trademark symbol, which is kind of overdoing it and making the entire thing lose its importance. Whenever you overdo something, that thing loses its importance, and that's exactly what's happening here. So instead of doing this for every single product, I highly recommend that you do something like this for a few specific products and see the difference between the sales for these products compared to the other product. Now, I've done this quite often and I've seen the results, which is why I'm actually recommending this, because for some reason, people just trust the product more and trust the website more if they see a special brand name. And you don't even have to put the trademark symbol. As long as it's a special brand name, you will see that your conversion rate kind of starts to increase, especially with Google Shopping ads. But in addition to having the special brand name, make sure to have SEO optimized title and SEO optimized keywords, because if you leave those SEO optimized keywords out, your product is simply not going to rank as much as it could and you won't get those sales. So along with the special brand name, make sure to have those SEO optimized keywords. And that brings me to my final point, which is going back to the description. That is, have an equal image to text ratio. Again, bestsellers.com does this really well, where they have an equal amount of images compared to the amount of words that they have. And I'm not saying if you have 300 words in your description, have 300 images, but the ratio should be kind of similar to each other. Meaning if you have a few sentences at the top, then have an image right below that, and then have a few more sentences and then have another image, as Bestseller does. And this kind of adds more to professionalism, because as I mentioned earlier, people don't like reading, especially here for this specific product. I think Bestsellers could do a better job of breaking up the text, because too much of the text is jumbled up together, and again, this is not something you want to do. So break up the text and have an equal amount of image to text ratio to get the best bang out of your buck when it comes to Google Shopping ads. But these are the 5 specific techniques as to how you can increase your conversion rate when it comes to Google Shopping ads. Again, we went over as to how Facebook is different to Google, and then what you can do with your Google Ad Store to actually increase that conversion rate. If you found any type of value in this video, do me a quick favor and smash that like button and smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.